Now look at that. Now we're ready to build a work table. I've been out buying some wood. And as I told you earlier, I want to build a work table in front of the window so that we get the natural light in here. The room is still filled with all sorts of old things. But we'll worry about that later. Now, for now, I want to build my table so that I can start putting some stuff in here. I already put up one set of shelves, so we can start putting some stuff on shelves, because we need to empty the other workshop so that we can get some of the stuff from in here over there, and it's back and forth. But we're trying to manage it. So let's get some wood, saw it up, and build a work table. Well, I've been out buying some wood, and this is what we're going to build the table in. Nice and strong. It'll be able to handle a hammer and my big vise. But to save some money, this is the plate that I'm intending to use as the tabletop. The problem with this is it can break. It's not as strong. I think the edges, if I do an edge with this, it'll start tearing up. So and I bought this because if I had to buy plywood or something like that, it would cost me 3 times as much. So I'm going to try this. If it doesn't work, well, we can replace it. This was very cheap, so let's start there. But to save the edges, I would like to put the plate into a groove in the table. Imagine this being the edge of the table and the table going that way. I'll put the plate into this so that this will be the edge, so we won't tear up the edge of the plates. So now I'll have to build a frame that's going to be the top of the table, a frame using this, and then we'll cut the edge into it and lay the plate into it. Yeah, well, let's try it. Now I'm cutting the 2x4s at 45 degrees at both ends, so we get a nicer fit than if we just put the two up against each other. Because I no longer have the metal contraption on my router to keep the distance into the wood, I've made these, I've clamped them up together. This is the one we're going to use the router in, And these clamped together will make sure that we don't go further into the wood than we need to. And we'll also be able to do a straight edge along the way. As you can see in there, I don't know if you can see it actually. Well, it should fit. So let's try. This is a first for me as well. I don't know where it's gone. I used to have a metal thingy to put on the router, but it's gone. Now we'll do it this way. Gør igen. Beep. Nej. Well, the idea was good enough, but the tool was not. It worked out really well. I got a nice groove to put the plate in, but unfortunately the tool kept running out and going deeper and deeper. I simply can't tension it enough in the machine so it won't run away. It did it in the middle. Then I tightened it, thought all is okay, but it wasn't. In the end, it did the same again. And here you can see how much. And this we can't use. So, you can buy machines too cheap, apparently. Well, I didn't want to use my old table saw because it's a bit dodgy, but I think we'll have to do it with the table saw instead and just take out a square. I think we can still use this. We'll just turn it around and hide it in the bottom. And if you don't tell anyone, I won't tell anyone either. And nobody will ever see it. So let's get the old table saw and see what we can do. I found this table saw in a dumpster a few years ago, and I used it for small jobs a couple of times. Now, as you know, a free piece of equipment is money in the pocket, but I would like to replace it with a full-size table saw at some point. Well, it got it done, but man, I don't like this machine. I really don't. Hopefully when we get the room all straightened out, we'll have room for a proper table saw, maybe even with some safety features, because this has none. It works, it can do some stuff I can't do with other machines, but I really don't like it. But we got the job done. We took out a piece, so now we can lay in the plate from the table. And the plate is over there. Now we'll just have to put the frame together and take some measurements, then we can cut out the plate. I found that the table saw had left some high points in the corners, so I had to bring out the chisel to remove them. Well, I almost forgot. Before we start meddling around with the sheets, we'll have to do the framing inside of the table. We'll need to make a frame in the middle to give it some stability, and also the sheets that I bought are not wide enough for the whole table, so we'll have to put two sheets together, and we'll do it at the far end of the table so that you won't have it in your workspace. It'll be underneath whatever you want by the far side of the table. So I found a piece of wood in the other workshop, and we'll see if we can fit it in and do some framing. I don't know why, but my pencil is wood colored. And every time I put it down somewhere, I can't find it. I'll have to grab myself some red ones. Okay, it's in my pocket. The wooden sheets I have, they're 60 centimeters. So we'll have a split in the sheets over here. So I would like to I'm gonna put this over here to support the joint of the two sheets, and then we'll put this one in the middle. This is the vise that I want to fit on the table. The vise itself is a whole other story. I restored it myself. I got it from my dad, but I'll show you later. This is I've had it laying around the attic. That's why it's gotten so rusty. But I want to use it here because now I finally get a table where it fits onto. So we'll have to do some kind of framing to support it, because the plate itself won't do it. I'm right-handed, but the way the room is, the room layout is, I won't be able to have it on the right side of the table because of the door. If I put it there, it'll be in the doorway, and I don't want that. So we'll have to put it on the left side of the table, but we'll leave room for me to stand on the side of it so that I can go work on it from the left side and use it like I want to. So I think it will be around here, and then I just want to put some frames into the wood or the table so that we can connect it all up and it won't go anywhere. Should be simple enough. Let's try it. Well, that's alright, I think. I know I'm no Paul Sellers or higher end woodworker or something like that, but I think it's okay. It's definitely the nicest workbench I ever had. And I think it works out really well to hide the wood or the plate in the groove so that we don't tear at the edges. Even if it was a plywood plate, I think this would be better. And it looks much nicer as well. And the only screws you'll be able to see is the ones, well, for now, but it's the ones for the vise. So, yeah, I'm definitely happy with this. Now it's time to start building some legs, and I want to space them pretty far apart so we get the most use of the room underneath the table. So, can it hold just being supported at the ends, or do we need to make legs under the middle as well? I do think we need to put some under the middle. We'll see. Well, I think it's time to have a look at what we got done to the boat as well, and then we'll save the rest of the table for next time. Well, today I'm going to remove the davits, the dinghy davit. Hopefully I'll be able to do it myself, otherwise we'll have to wait till Heidi comes home from work. There might be some screws you have to hold from the inside while screwing on the outside. Yeah, we'll see about that. But firstly, we can take off the davits, and then we need to take off the mount afterwards. The mount is containing the two windows. We have to take that off to get to the two old windows in the hull, and we're going to close them so that we can put in some new windows. Closing windows, removing windows to close windows to put in new windows. Perfect. Well, so let's get going. Now that I got the davits down, it's time to lift the tarp and make a small shelter to work under. There's not really any rain in the forecast, but this being a Danish winter, well, you never know. So we better be ready and have a roof over our heads. Well, I got all the screws off, but of course I forgot that inside here we have 6 bolts bolting this foot of the davit into the hull as well. I just went to the inside and checked. There's no nuts on the back side. He's just put a thread into the hull, threaded it into the hull. So we should be able to take it out by just turning them from out here. But they're encapsulated in silicone of some kind. Ah well. We'll see if we can pry it off and then take out the bolts. Now that we're removing the davit and the brackets for it, you might be wondering what the plan is. And don't you worry, so are we. We really don't know yet. We might place the davits on deck or maybe make new brackets for it. But what we do know is that we have to fix the portholes behind it. The rest will come later. Maybe you have a suggestion on where to put the davits. If you do, please write them in the comments. Well, I think we'll end this video here. It's getting way too long once again. If you want to see how this all turns out, subscribe to our channel. It's free for you, but it really helps us a lot. And again, if you have any comments, questions or good advice for us, please write them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching and see you next time.